Dupont company. I have had to mention this damn company at least a few times in my videos over the last few years. This is one of those elitist club companies, Dupont. And I recalled a story when I was 18 to probably 20, 21 years old. Worked at an auto repair shop out of high school. It was a technical high school, and you could pick a area that you wanted to learn about and go on the job training potentially. Auto mechanics, I thought that's what I wanted to do at the time. Fix cars and, you know, build fast cars and things like that. And naturally I've had Mustangs and Camaros and things like that back in those days, but I wanted to fix cars, so I did that. And I remember them saying, oh well, scientists said that this R12 Freon, so this would have been before cars that were made after 2003 or 2003 or newer, had the new R134A Freon. Now keeping in mind, this is 1996, 97, 98, 99, 2000-ish time frame. But there ain't a whole lot of 2003 and 4 cars coming in to get repaired at our shop. I mean, they're still fairly new. So we would find them every now and then, but majority of cars were on R12 Freon. EPA and scientists are now saying that R12 Freon is causing holes to go into the ozone layer. It's eating it alive. This is bad news. R12 Freon is no longer going to be produced. We're going to be phasing it out in any car that comes in that has R12. We're going to do a conversion kit to put them onto R134A. But not immediately. We still have years to go, a few years anyways, of R12. And I want to tell you how, I can't remember the numbers off the top of my head, but I want to say a can of Freon that may have used to cost $30 for a big jug of Freon, like a 30-pound can, maybe, I don't remember the exact price, was now in the hundreds. Started off around 90, jumped into the hundreds. People were like, how much does it cost just to get a couple of pounds of Freon put in? Oh, it's like $35. What? You know, back then, not that that's a lot of money nowadays. I just want a couple pounds of Freon. Yeah, sorry, that's what it costs. We got to get rid of R12. It's fading out. It's causing holes in the ozone layer. Years and years and years and years later, as in like around 2005, 6, 7, 8, somewhere, I don't remember. I remember reading up. Scientists got it wrong. R12 did not, in fact, cause holes in the ozone layer. Now, at that point, I'm already awakened. I already understand the fraud and deception around this damn world and these major multinational corporations. I understand it now. So then I immediately go, oh, you bastards, it was you and your fake study. Because DuPont was the biggest manufacturer of Freon that I knew of that we were also using. It was made by DuPont, R12 Freon. Oh, so they get to rape and pillage the price instead of $30 for 30 pounds of Freon, a big jug, similar to the size of like a can of propane, canister of propane. It was about that size, but I want to say there was 30 pounds in that, if I recall. So who made money hand over fist? It didn't cost them any additional money to make it. They were doing what they always did. But they used this fake artificial thing, such as, oh, we're going to be doing away with it. It's causing holes in the ozone layer, so you better get it while you can. And that's exactly what happened. The price skyrocketed. We, of course, had to pass the price on to the customer. Oh, it used to be, $5 a pound we used to charge you or whatever it was. Now it's, $20 a pound. Sorry about that. So, I learned about DuPont right then and there. I knew it. Okay. One of these companies. Got it. So do not be surprised when I read this part to you. This is from a website, firstlook.org. The Intercept. The Teflon, remember, oh, it's made of Teflon, anti-stick, everyone's got to have one, cooking utensils, yeah. The Teflon toxin, DuPont, and the chemistry of deception. I read this the other day and said, man, I got to do a video on this. Ken Wamsley sometimes dreams that he's playing softball again. He'll be at center field just like when he played slow pitch back in his teens, or pounding the ball over the fence as the crowd goes wild. Other times, he's somehow inexplicably back at work in the lab. Wamsley calls them nightmares. These stories that play out in his sleep, but really the only scary part is the end. When, quote, I wake up and I have no rectum anymore. No rectum? Wamsley is 73. After developing rectal cancer and having surgery to treat it in 2002, he walks slowly and gets up from the bench in his small backyard slowly. His voice, which has a gentle Appalachian lilt, is still animated, though, especially when he talks about his happier days. There were many. While Wamsley knew plenty of people in Parkersburg, West Virginia, who struggled to stay employed, he made an enviable wage for almost 4 decades at the Dupont plant there. The company was generous, helping him pay for college courses and training him to become a lab analyst in the Teflon division. He enjoyed the work, particularly the precision and care it required. For years he measured levels of a chemical called C8. Keep that chemical in mind. In various products. The chemical, quote, was everywhere, as Wamsley remembers it, bubbling out of the glass flasks he used to transport it, wafting it into smelly vapor that formed when he heated it. A fine powder, possibly C8, dusted the laboratory drawers and floated in the hazy lab air. At the time, Wamsley and his co-workers weren't particularly concerned about the strange stuff. Quote, we never thought about it, never worried about it, he said recently. He believed it was harmless. He says, like soap. You wash your hands with it, your face, you take a bath. Today, Wamsley suffers from ulcerative colitis, a bowel condition that causes him sudden bouts of diarrhea. The disease also can, and in his case did, lead to rectal cancer. Between the surgery, which left him reliant on plastic pouches that collect his waste outside his body and have to be changed regularly, and his ongoing digestive problems, Wamsley finds it difficult to be away from his home for long. Sometimes when napping or watching baseball on TV, his mind drifts back to his Dupont days, and he wonders not just about the dust that coated his old workplace, but also about his bosses who offered their casual assurances about the chemical years ago, being that it was safe. Quote, who knew, he asked. When did they know? Did they lie? Until recently, few people had heard much about chemicals like C8, one of tens of thousands of unregulated industrial chemicals, perfluorotactanoic acid, or PFOA, also called C8 because of the 8-carbon chain that makes up its chemical backbone, had gone unnoticed for most of its 8 or so decades on Earth, even as it helped cement the success of one of the world's largest corporations, which is Dupont. Several blockbuster discoveries, including nylon, lycra, and Tyvek, helped transform the E.I. Dupont de Nemours company from a 19th century gunpowder mill into, quote, one of the most successful and sustained industrial enterprises in the world. When you hear that word about any company on the face of the earth, I'm just going to stop you and tell you right now, you better run away from whatever it's selling. As its corporate website puts it, indeed, in 2014, the company reaped more than $95 million in sales each and every day. Perhaps no product is as responsible for its dominance as Teflon, which was introduced in 1946, and for more than 60 years, C8 was an essential ingredient of Teflon. Called a surfactant because it reduces the surface tension of water, the slippery, stable compound was eventually used in hundreds of products, including Gore-Tex and other waterproof clothing, coatings for eyeglasses and tennis rackets, stain-proof coatings for carpets and furniture, firefighting foam, fast food wrappers, microwave popcorn bags, bicycle lubricants, satellite components, ski wax, communications cables, and pizza boxes. Concerns about the safety of Teflon, C8, and other long-chain perfluorinated chemicals first came to wide public attention more than a decade ago, but the story of DuPont's long involvement with C8 has never been fully told. Over the past 15 years, as lawyers have been waging an epic legal battle, culminating as the first of approximately 3,500 personal injury claims come to trial in September. A long trail of documents has emerged that casts new light on C8, DuPont, and the fitful attempts of the EPA to deal with a threat to public health. This story is based on many of those documents which, until they were entered into evidence for these trials, had been hidden away by in DuPont's files. Among them are write-ups of experiments on rats, dogs, and rabbits showing that C8 was associated with a wide range of health problems that sometimes killed the lab animals. Many thousands of pages of expert testimony and depositions have been prepared by attorneys for the plaintiffs, and through the process of legal discovery, they have uncovered hundreds of internal communications revealing that DuPont employees for many years suspected that C8 was harmful and yet continued to use it, putting the company's workers and the people who live near its plant at risk. Well, at risk the most. The best evidence of how C8 affects humans has also come out through the legal battle over the chemical, though in a more public form, as part of a 2005 settlement over contamination around the West Virginia plant where Wamsley worked, the DuPont plant, the area. So everyone who lived by it, sorry about your luck. Where he worked, lawyers for both DuPont and the plaintiffs approved a team of 3 scientists who were charged with determining if and how the chemical affects people. In 2011 and 2012, after 7 years of research, the science panel found that C8 was, quote, more likely than not linked to ulcerative colitis, Wamsley's condition, as well as to high cholesterol, pregnancy-induced hypertension, thyroid disease, testicular cancer, and kidney cancer. The scientists' findings, published in more than 36 peer-reviewed articles, were striking because the chemical's effects were so widespread throughout the body and because even very low exposure levels were associated with health effects. We know too from internal DuPont documents that emerged through the lawsuit that Wamsley's fears of being lied to are well-founded. DuPont scientists had closely studied the chemical for decades and through their own research knew about some of the dangers it posed. Yet rather than inform workers, people living near the plant, the general public, or government agencies responsible for regulating chemicals, DuPont repeatedly kept its knowledge secret. Why are you having companies be even able to do such a thing? Why is the EPA not doing their own studies, hiring their own scientific firms to do these studies, rather than just accept, oh, you're bringing a new product online, XYZ company? What did your peer review or some third party you hired, who works for you, of course, what did they say about your product? They said it works fine, no health side effects at all. All right, we'll prove it. Thanks. Are you kidding me? That's the way it's been. Sorry about that. This is America. Sorry about that. Another revelation about C8 makes all of this more disturbing and gives the upcoming trials, the first of which will be held this fall in Columbus, Ohio, global significance. This deadly chemical that DuPont continued to use well after it knew it was linked to health problems is now practically everywhere. What do you mean everywhere? A man-made compound that didn't exist a century ago, C8, is in the blood. Hate to break it to you. It's in the blood of 99.7% of Americans, according to a 2007 analysis of data from the Centers for Disease Control, as well as in newborn human babies, breast milk, and umbilical cord blood. A growing group of scientists have been tracking the chemical spread through the environment, documenting its presence in a wide range of wildlife, including loggerhead sea turtles, bottlenose dolphins, a bunch of other animals, and birds. Although DuPont no longer uses C8, fully removing the chemical from all the bodies of water and bloodstreams it pollutes is now impossible. And because it is so chemically stable, in fact, as far as scientists can determine, it never breaks down. C8 is expected to remain on the planet well after humans are gone from it. And speaking of the EPA, I'm pretty sure you've heard about this one recently. The Colorado River turned yellow the other day, all the way down the entire length of the river, which has now contaminated Indians. Is it the Cherokee over there? Water supply with these heavy metals, which is partially why it turned yellow, because of the heavy metals, due to the EPA claiming we were trying to clean out this contaminated mine area, and some shafts and stuff got flooded, and then it overspilled, and long story short, we're sorry. We're the ones that cleaned this stuff up. We're sorry because we just made the biggest mess. Now, I read a newspaper article, I think I mentioned this the other day, that someone took a photograph, picture with their camera or whatever, of the actual newspaper article, uploaded it on the internet for people to see. And in the article, it says, so-and-so at the EPA, attention all people in this area. In the newspaper article, this person's writing this prior to the accident, river turning yellow incident. Prior to that happening, saying the EPA is going to come in here to our mining town. They're going to try to pretend that they're going to clean up this mine. They're going to cause a massive catastrophe. And they're going to blame it on such and such. They're saying that they're going to handle it this way, and I'm telling you right now, it can't be handled that way. It's going to lead to a massive contamination spill. And then they're going to, because of the devastating effects and the need to deal with this problem all of a sudden, they're going to be requesting what's called super funding. Super funding will ensure that the employees, all 17,000 of them, at the EPA will remain employed for a long time, because they're going to now have to build 100,000. He says what I calculate to be between a 100,000 and $100 million and $500 million plant in this area to deal with what they've caused on purpose. He said it in advance, wrote it because he was sure of it, in a newspaper article for anyone to see. And this is only about a month or two ago that he wrote this. So he does, and it happens. And what do we hear from the same EPA that should have been following companies like Dupont and doing their own testing, just like our FDA, same story with them. They allow the company bringing a product online, new drug as far as the EPA is concerned, new drug coming out, fixes this but causes 1,400 other side effects, and it doesn't actually fix the problem, it just hides it. Normally it just hides the issue. It's not really fixing anything, because if you get off the drug, it comes back. And then you have other side effects to deal with that may be with you the rest of your life. What a perfect product to give somebody. They will have to take that's what the pharmaceutical companies are telling themselves. They will have to take our product the rest of their lives. And this is only one pill, guys. How many pills have we developed over the years? Oh yeah, dozens and dozens. So we'll just keep trying to find let's create a new condition. We'll call it erectile dysfunction. And we'll have these little blue pills and stuff. You can take it if you're an older man and you want to, have relations with your wife. Do you suffer from erectile dysfunction? Well, yes I do. How old are you? Everybody in these commercials I see look like they're in their 60s, 70s years of age. I'm that old, and I don't, have those kind of relations with my wife anymore, but man, would I like to. I must suffer from this disease, or whatever this is, this condition called ED, erectile dysfunction. When the reality of the matter is, it's completely normal as you get up there in age to not do those things. But you're seeing commercials telling you, look at this guy, and he's happy, and he's doing this, his wife's happy, he's happy, everybody's happy. Just take this dang pill. I must have that. I must have that condition, because I do the same thing. Oh my God, and I'm 65, and next thing you know, record sales, and Viagra and Cialis, great. I can't tell you how many times right now, no matter what TV show I'm watching, and I like the shows where people are trying to search for treasure, or they're digging for gold mining, all that stuff. I like those shows. But it seems like it doesn't matter what show's on. It doesn't matter if my wife's watching her dancing show, or the America's Got Talent show, anything that normal Americans, you could say, would watch, right? Or maybe we should all just be categorized as sheep for watching these nonsense shows. But you would expect commercials, of course, absolutely. But why am I being bombarded? Not just a few commercials, being bombarded by pharmaceutical company commercials. Not just the ED commercials. Those are included. But other things. Oh, do you suffer from plaque psoriasis and your skin got pink color to it? And shows the lady, I'm not happy with my skin. And then change the music and show the part where our drug comes online, and just take this, ask your doctor if this is right for you, and I'm happy again, and my skin, you can barely tell it's pink. May cause abdominal bleeding, may cause stomach ulcers, may cause rectal cancer, may cause breast cancer, may cause failure of the kidney. Do not give to pregnant women, do not give to children under... But damn it, she's happy. She's smiling now. Come on, she likes to smile. Smiling's her favorite. Like Elf said, I like to smile. Smiling's my favorite. And so does the actors on these commercials. And are the actors going to say, I'm too good for these commercials? I know what you guys are up to. I'm not taking that money. I know it pays good, but I don't care. I'm better than that. Is that actor this thing called a human being? Yes. They'll take the money. In this day and age, in this world, they will take the money. Because it pays good too. And I'm going to do a really good job acting so that some other commercials similar, they may call me back. I'll dress up a little differently. I'm off of my career, man. I finally made it. I'm an actor, and I'm doing, even though it's commercials, they pay good, and I'm doing it, man. I'm off. Don't let anyone tell you any different. Do those commercials. Take it for what it's worth, man. Get your money. Work. Live. Earn your living. Yeah, go for it. Good job, man. You made it. And you're the spokesperson. You're the mouthpiece of these commercials that you probably know, like the rest of us are finding out, and most of us know now, that this crap you're peddling is the equivalent of death, cancer, kidney failure in people. But it made the person's skin feel good, so maybe that's what you tell yourself at night when you sleep. It made the person feel better about themselves. Ask your doctor if such and such is right for you. My damn doctor better have an electronic circuit board in his head that just does nothing, and it's got a huge hard drive to retain information. Because the average human brain is not going to be able to retain the amount of information that a doctor would have to keep up with, just for his own sake of being a doctor and all the school that he went through, and knowing everything he needs to know, he or she, as a doctor, and then saying, okay, now once we let you go, you're going to have to learn about all these thousands of pharmaceutical pills and whatnot so that you can recommend our product to your patients. And by the way, we're going to send you on vacation. We're going to give you these little bonus things, and we really want you to recommend our product over our competitors. Oh, okay. So the doctor, of course, who's like a politician and says, well, who's going to pay me the most campaign contributions? In this respect, who's going to send me on vacation the most, and who's going to send me little packages of goodies and gifts more than the other company, because they're all doing the same thing. They all have the same stuff in it. Who's just giving me more? And whoever that is who I'm going to recommend. So you have this thing like Donald Trump was talking about recently, where these people, you give them campaign contributions, and all of a sudden they understand later, I owe that guy a favor. You do. With me, he says, I don't owe anybody a favor. People owe me favors, as a matter of fact. That's a damn good thing. That's a damn good thing to have. But the same thing applies to the doctors. Who do I owe to sell their product the most? This person needs this pharmaceutical for some stupid condition they have, when in reality all they have to do is change their diet. What do you mean in reality all they have to do is change their diet? Yeah, all you have to do is change your diet and that will pretty much solve your health issues. I was in the store yesterday. Or no, day before yesterday. I was at Publix grocery store. Those of you that ain't around here don't know what Publix is. It's one of the best grocery stores that Florida has. And I'm getting my wife's like, stop and get a chicken and get some milk and a couple other things, you know. I said, all right, so I get it. And I see one of these super duper obese women riding in the electric chair, you know, the mobility scooter thing that Publix has with a little basket in the front, you know, for people who are handicapped. Notice how I said handicapped, not obese, but obese people who don't want to walk around. No, we're going to sit more. So this obese woman is in this thing, driving around with her young daughter, who couldn't have been more than 7, 8 years old, I'm guessing, who is also obese at that age. Or obese, not obese, obese. At that age, clearly. You know, I don't have to guess. I don't have to wonder. She's obese. Mom and daughter. And naturally, my brain instinct, she's in, what kind of stuff is in her cart? Everything that you would never want, everything you would never probably put in your grocery cart was in her cart. The filthiest of the filth. I gotta go.